to do our shelter sketches. Mr. B's back, and we're going to do a really fun one today. This shelter sketch we're going to do in a series, so it's going to take us more than one class, and this is going to be inspired by the Atlanta Humane Society and the Georgia Aquarium, because the Humane Society took some puppies and kittens on a field trip to the aquarium, and it was so cute, so I thought we should do a project for it. Mr. B is probably jealous. He would like to go to the aquarium. So we have to make a background, so we're going to have our aquarium background, and this is going to be doing something with called one-point perspective. And then we're going to make our shelter sketches of the puppies and the little kittens. See them? And this is kind of inspired by Luna, who's a kindergartner, so shout out to Luna. She did her Lucy shelter sketch on a little craft stick. So I thought that was such a good idea. And then what we can do is I'll show you how we can put a little slit in here. And then you can make your puppies or your kittens. They can go visit the aquarium. So you're going to follow along with me in the video to get started. Mr. B, are you ready? High five? Yes.
We're doing a one-point perspective, so we need to make an X on our paper to get our point. My paper's a little too big, so a ruler wouldn't fit, so I just found a long straight edge, and I'm using that to get my straight lines. Now that I have my X, I'm going to use my ruler again. I'm going to take my ruler and put it at the bottom, and you can see my paper is about 12 inches. And I'm going to make a mark at the 2-inch, and then I'm going to make another mark at the 10-inch. And then I'm going to use my ruler again, and from those marks, I'm going to line it up and make sure it goes back to that point, that center of the X, since we're doing a one-point perspective. Now we're going to do the walls for our aquarium. So I'm going to use my ruler again. I have it lined up with the point on that angled X line. And I'm going to make a mark on the 1-inch, the 2-inch, and the 4-inch to help me know where I'm going to make the kind of panels for the glass. I do it on one side, and I'm going to go and do it on the other side. The same marking points. The 1, the 2, and then the 4. Now that we have those marks, I know where I need to make my straight lines. So I'm going to use my ruler, and I line it up where I made those marks on the 1, the 2, and the 4. And I just make a straight line till it hits that top angled line. So we should have 3 lines on each side. So the aquarium, the ceiling is also part of the water, and we can see the sea creatures swimming around. So we're going to make an arch for the ceiling. How you make your arch is those lines that we just added. You're going to connect them with a curved line. So kind of like the shape of a frown or a semicircle. So since we have 3 lines on each side, we should have 3 arches when we're finished. You'll see they're going to go from small to large. I decided to add one more arch, the smallest one farthest away. So I used my ruler again, and I made you can see it's a real small straight line. I did it on both sides, and then I needed to connect it with another arch. So if you want to add an extra one like I did, I now have 4. Now that we have everything done with our pencil, and I've checked everything, I'm going to go and outline all of my lines with a Sharpie. I'm going to use my Sharpie for this step, or you could use pencil first, and I'm going to make some like coral and seaweed coming down from the bottom. And I'm just using some wavy lines to add some of that plant life. But I want to remember to keep it at that angled line, and it's just going to go all the way back. But as I get further back, since it's perspective, I don't make things as tall. So they're a little harder to see the further away. Then we're going to add our sea creatures. I did a light sketch with pencil first, and now I'm going over mine with Sharpie. And we want to remember that they're swimming all around, so we don't want them just on the sides. We want to have some above us, and they can be going in different directions. To coloring, I'm going to do mine as a watercolor crayon resist, which means I'm going to be painting my background with watercolor paint. So I'm going to use crayons for coloring so that wax will resist the paint. You can use whatever coloring materials you have on hand. I'll be using watercolor paints for my background, and I'm going to add a little bit more to the ground, so just to like brighten it up. So I'm going to add a little bit more on top of the crayon to the floor. And when I go to do the water, what I'm going to do is make my paper wet first, because I want my colors to kind of blend together a little bit more. And I'm going to be using a variety of cool colors, so greens, blues, and purples for the water.